Hey, what's up WWE fans? It's Ariel Slade here, and I wanted to make this video to share my thoughts on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So, this pay-per-view happened, for me, I think this was like last night or 2 nights ago, and I had quite a bit to say. I'm going to start with what you guys are probably wanting to hear about the most, which is the ending, and then I'm going to go back to what happened before then, okay? So, first of all, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens put on a banker as usual. I expected that. Kevin Owens is outstanding in the ring. Roman is outstanding in the ring. They're both such great performers, great wrestlers, and it was just, I think it was just great to watch another banger of a match between them. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I didn't really like about the match was that Roman had to resort to cheating again. So, like, Roman cheats all the time. It's fine, he's a heel, that makes sense. But he almost cheats a little bit too much. Like, he's Roman Reigns. He beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He's beaten Brock Lesnar. He's beaten John Cena clean. He beat John Cena clean. Like, he doesn't need to win by cheating every single time. And he fought Kevin Owens 4 times now. 3 times originally, and then this is the 4th time in this title reign. And every single time he had to win, like, terribly uncleanly, like with Jey Uso getting involved, or freaking Paul Heyman uncuffing him when the ref was counting to 10 and the ref stopped counting. So many things happened. Jey Uso pulling Kevin Owens down from the ladder, handcuffing Kevin Owens to the cage. The point is, he had to resort to cheating again. It's okay. The match was still outstanding. But the main thing that's worth talking about is what came after the match. So again, like I said, I prefer if Roman didn't cheat because I think he's good enough to beat Kevin clean, but it's okay. I get why they wanted to make him cheat. You know, amp up the heat that he's generating. And this time, the bloodline was not in Roman's corner. Sami was. And after the match was over, Sami was like, great, you know, I passed the test. This was the final test, and I passed. Jey Uso comes out. He's ready to put the, I forgot what that kind of necklace is called, forgive me. But he's ready to put the flower necklace on Sami. And Roman's like, nah, he's not done. They beat up Kevin Owens. They handcuff him. They beat him up some more. And Roman's about to hit him with a chair. Sami's like, no. This is beneath you, right? Sami's really smart, and this is what I like about Sami, about his character. He's a master strategist, right? He's a smart guy. He's in a very unfortunate situation because he's not really liked. Like, he hasn't really been liked by people for like years, and he's been trying to find his place in WWE. And at first, he was just blaming the company, the conspiracy theories, that the company's out to get him, and then finally he was like, I need to find, you know, people that accept me. I need to find a home. I need to find a family. And he tried joining the bloodline. And he's a very sad story of a man emotionally, but mentally, he's still all there. And this specific moment was brilliant of Sami. When I was watching this, I was like, this is the brilliant Sami that we know and love. He said, this is beneath you. So he's trying to convince Roman to not hit Kevin Owens in a way that will still feed into Roman's ego, because Sami knows what to say to Roman. He says, this is beneath you. You don't need to do this. But he made a mistake because Roman turned that back on Sami and was basically like, yeah, you're right. I don't need to do this. This is beneath me. You should do it. And he holds out the chair to Sami, and he's like, you should do it. Like, I want you to prove your loyalty. Thank you for the new idea. This is how you're going to prove your loyalty. And, of course, Sami smashes Roman with the chair. Excuse the creaking of my chair, by the way. He smashes Roman with the chair instead of Kevin Owens. The crowd erupted, like, unbelievably. It was like, I cannot get over how beautiful of a pop that was. The crowd just exploded when Sami Zayn hit Roman. And Jey was losing it. He was like, what are you doing? And Jimmy, no hesitation, super kicked Sami. They beat the living hell out of Sami. Roman pounds him with a chair, and Jey Uso does not join in. Roman's like, what are you doing? He betrayed us. And Jey's like, I can't do this. And he leaves. And he leaves and he turns his back on the bloodline, okay? So I'm going to talk about this for a minute. Some people might be surprised about what happened. I wasn't actually surprised about anything. Well, I'm not going to be like, I predicted the whole thing. But I wasn't so surprised about what happened. I wasn't surprised that Sami Zayn hit Roman. My girlfriend called it. I was watching with her. And she was like, what if Sami just hits Roman? Like, that would be crazy, right? And in my mind, I was like, yeah, that would be crazy. In my mind, I was like, it's going to happen. Because I knew this was coming. I was like, this is beautiful. This is a moment where Roman is testing Sami. And Roman's going to turn his back. And Sami's going to hit Roman. And that's exactly what happened. So I kind of expected that. I wasn't sure what would happen with Jay. But when Jay did not join in on the beatdown of Sami, when he left, I was not that surprised. And here's why. I'm going to create a few videos where I do character analyses. I'm not like a genius, you know. I'm not like super knowledgeable on psychology or literature, but I'm a college student that studies psychology and literature. And I love, one of my favorite things to do is analyze characters in literature, like in stories, movies, books, video games, WWE storylines, analyzing them, just trying to understand them as a character, see what kind of growth they go through, what kind of emotional turmoil they go through throughout the story, analyzing, you know, like the psychology of the characters. So I will create videos to go in depth on this, but briefly, let me just explain. Jay was traumatized by his matches with Roman. Jay had to go through a lot to be a part of the bloodline. He had to battle Roman Reigns, his cousin, and get like beaten up like crazy. And not just get beaten up, but witnessed Roman brutally assault Jimmy too, his brother, which hurt him like deeply, personally, on an emotional level, not just physically. And Jey Uso was never the same. Example, when Roman Reigns was angry at Jey after Jey said, "I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says," Roman stared at Jey, and Jey couldn't look Roman in the eye, because he's not like afraid necessarily, but he's kind of afraid. Like I don't know if he's fully afraid. Like I think when push comes to shove, he would fight Roman in another match, and I hope that we see that happen. But he's a little bit afraid. Like he can't look his oppressor, the guy that victimized him. He can't look him in the eye. And when Roman started assaulting Sami, Jey felt bad. He couldn't help but feel bad, because when Jey hated Sami, Sami still believed in Jey and still sided with Jey, and he still defended Jey from Roman when Jey was freaking out. When Jey said, "I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says," who saved who saved Jey in that situation when Roman was about to blow? Sami did. So Sami always stuck by Jey. He always stood up for Jey. Jey appreciated that, and he also went through so much like misery from Roman that when the moment came where Roman betrayed Sami, he's like, I just can't do this. Like I can't keep siding with Roman when Roman is doing all these evil things. And even though he wasn't ready to turn on the bloodline just yet, he can't just turn on Roman. He can't just turn on Jimmy. He can't just turn on his other brother, Solo. But he had to walk out. And it was beautiful. It was one of the best. I literally, in my mind, like, I was watching Raw last week, and I saw the tribal court segment with Sami Zayn being on trial and Jey Uso helping him out. And I was like, that was one of the greatest segments, like non-wrestling segments in pro wrestling history, at least in the last decade, that I've seen. I thought this was brilliant. And I feel the same exact way for the segment that happened right after the main event of the Royal Rumble. This segment was incredible. If you have not watched it, watch it. And yeah, it was outstanding. 10 out of 10, 5 stars, perfect, beautiful, masterpiece, work of art. This is just a brilliant story and a perfect story the way it's going. Now, we're 10 minutes into the video, and I'm going to briefly go over everything else, starting at the beginning. So, Royal Rumble happens, and what is going on? My man Gunther starts and goes to the very end, but he doesn't win. I will say, I I loved how in the beginning they were like talking about, oh, Gunther, he's so good, he's an Intercontinental Champion, but does he have what it takes to win from the #1 spot? Like, does he have the stamina for it? Does he have the conditioning for that? And in my mind, I was like, I think he does. Like, he's always been outstanding, and now he's still outstanding, but he's also in amazing shape. He was in amazing shape before. When he was heavier, he was able to do like the wildest things in the ring. He had cardio, he had conditioning, he was in good shape despite being much bigger. But now, he's in insane shape. I was like, this guy could go till the end. I knew that Cody would win though. I think everyone did. But basically, Gunther's performance was incredible. Johnny Gargano coming back was fun. Everything that happened with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre was cool. Edge returning and kicking the Judgment Day's asses was great to see. Honestly, like, Ray got injured from what I heard, or maybe not. I thought I read in a report that he got injured, so he couldn't do it. Whether he was injured or not, or this was planned, the way that they handled it with Ray not coming out and everyone scratching their heads, and then Dominic coming out with his mask, implying that Dominic, like, maybe assaulted Ray or something. It's just another great way to further the storyline, and I really hope that we get to see Ray versus Dominic at WrestleMania. I mean, I think we have to. I think that's where this road is going. But anyway, Judgment Day doing well. Booker T coming back was fun. Honestly, like, there was a lot of great things that I loved about this Rumble. Logan Paul impressed as usual. Yeah, every time he steps into a WWE ring, he does impress. I'm not gonna lie. He can do high flying stuff. And they put him with Ricochet. And they were like, you guys are going to do a high-flying spot. And they did, and it was cool. I mean, I saw that coming. As soon as I saw them on the opposite sides, I looked and I was like, ooh, I think they're going to jump and collide in the middle. I'm not like the best at predicting stuff in WWE. I'm not trying to say that, but I did see that one coming. But it was still amazing to see. I was like, whoa. And then Logan's chest got red and stuff. He eliminated Rollins, which was nuts. But then the final stretch of the Royal Rumble match was amazing. Like, we don't normally get a final stretch like that. When it was Gunther and Cody, it was drawn out, it was extended. My girlfriend was going for Gunther. She was like, oh my gosh, this guy's been in since #1, and I would love to see him versus Roman. He has to win. And I was like, Cody's gonna win though, trust me. But I actually was not sure. I was like, like, what's gonna happen? Because there were moments where Cody was like this close to getting out, and they were just battling it out. They were having like a full match. It was amazing. And Cody versus Gunther is a match I would love to see. I want to see Gunther versus Lesnar. Oh yeah, they teased Lesnar versus Gunther. I want to see Gunther versus Drew, Gunther versus Cody. Lesnar was great in it. Bobby was great in it. Bobby eliminating Lesnar was good. In the end of the day, Cody won as I predicted, as I was hoping for. We're going to see Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania. It's going to be amazing, and I'm really, really excited. Next up was the Blackout match, Pitch Black match. Sorry, Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, whatever. A little bit disappointing in the sense that it really felt like a long, drawn-out, not long and drawn-out, it was actually short. The match was short, but it felt like a long and drawn-out commercial for Mountain Dew Pitch Black. It was like so heavily sponsored. I mean, listen, Triple H said it in the press conference. They got like more sponsorship revenue than like ever before. Like, this is like they just got a ton of money from Mountain Dew. So for the company, it's good, you know? Like, buying stock in WWE is probably a good idea. They're making money. They're doing good as a company. I'm fine with them having an advertisement type match every now and then. It's not like they do this every week. As for the match, I honestly thought it was okay. Gimmick match, but it's fine. It's Bray Wyatt. The face paint and the body paint looked so good in the lights. Like, it was glowing and he looked horrifying. LA Knight wearing the neon was cool. What didn't make sense, though, I didn't like that it was kind of like a squash. Like, I wanted LA Knight to last a little bit longer. It was a little short. LA Knight is great. He's an amazing performer, and I want him to succeed. I see him as potentially being a future main eventer, okay? So, yeah, he's really good. But he got squashed. Honestly, whatever. It's Bray Wyatt. It's okay. I don't think LA Knight is going to come out looking bad from this. But what didn't make sense was Uncle Howdy jumping off and smashing through. I don't even think he hit LA Knight. Pretty sure I saw that he missed. He just kind of smashed through the ground, and there was an explosion of fire, and it was all for nothing. Like, he did that. I saw this thing online from, like, Cage Side Seats, I think, SB Nation. They were talking about how they were just like going over the parts that happened in the Royal Rumble, and they were like, yeah, Uncle Howdy jumped and exploded right next to LA Knight for no reason at all. And I was like, yeah, that was unnecessary. Whatever, they were battling it out. It was okay. The whole thing was just okay. Next match, Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss, also okay. Short. It was okay for what it was. Like, they're such good wrestlers that they can make a 5-minute match entertaining. But it sucks that it was 5 minutes because Alexa Bliss is better than that, and she shouldn't lose that quickly. But whatever. The Royal Rumbles were really long, and Roman's match was long, and then they had a segment after Roman's match that was like just as long as the match. So it was like they needed to cut down on time. It was a long pay-per-view. Despite it being it was a 5-match pay-per-view, and it was still mad long. So they had to keep the middle matches short. Maybe we can get one more match between Bianca and Alexa on Raw. One that's a little bit drawn out and like no DQ maybe. Something a little different to spice it up. Yeah, because they're both great competitors. So that was okay too. And obviously they had that post match moment when Uncle Howdy was making Alexa Bliss question whether or not she was actually in charge because she feels like she is, but he was like, no, you ain't. Lastly, the last thing that happened before Roman's match, which we talked about first, was Rhea Ripley's performance. She started at number 1 and freaking won. Like, that normally doesn't happen. Edge did it recently. That was the most recent one. I know Shawn Michaels has done it. There may be one other person that did it that I don't remember. I'm not sure who it was. I'm not sure if it was Rey Mysterio. But speaking of Rey actually lasted like an hour and 2 minutes or so in his Royal Rumble match, a 30-man Royal Rumble match. And Gunther just beat that record with lasting an hour and like 11 minutes, which is the longest ever in a traditional 30-man Royal Rumble match. Gunther didn't win, but still incredible. Rhea Ripley, she probably lasted longer than any woman in a Royal Rumble match. I think. I'm not sure, but she probably did. But either way, first woman in history to start one in the Royal Rumble and win it. I called it. Again, I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm calling everything, but sometimes predictability is a little good, you know. Like, I called Cody, I called Ripley. I was like, we need this to happen. She's on fire. She's been on fire for so long. She's like, she's just the best fit for challenging either Charlotte or Bianca. Like, there's no one that I would rather see fight Charlotte. There's no one that I'd rather see fight Bianca. I don't care who she picks. She's the best option to fight either one. So I'm ecstatic for that. We got some NXT superstars in there. Roxanne Perez is so good. She's like my age, I think, around 22-ish, something like that. And she's incredible. She's so good. She's way better than me. Like, for anyone that doesn't know, I wrestle on the indies. And I started wrestling when I was 19 or 18. I was 19 when I started wrestling. I'm 22 now, and she started wrestling when she was like 15 or something. She's really good. So yeah, really good stuff. And yeah, she was great. Zoe Stark was cool. Xia Li was cool, honestly. I'm always a big fan of Xia Li, so I like that she was in there for a bit. Becky Lynch, Bayley, the storylines that was going on between Damage Control and the others, just like them eliminating everyone and stuff. Everything was so good. Also, I'm a huge fan of Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan started at number 2. It's funny. Liv Morgan started at number 2. She said earlier that she planned on starting at 1. And so when Ripley came out at 1, I was like, If Ripley was not meant to win, they could have just let Liv start at 1. Like Liv was literally teasing that she would do. So why would you make Rhea start at 1 instead of Liv, unless there was a reason to have Ripley start at 1? That being, she wins. So if she would have started at 2 and Liv would have started at 1, it wouldn't have been as cool to say Rhea started from number 2, which is just as good as starting at 1, but it's not 1. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So she started at 1. I knew she would win. Liv was amazing. She lasted till the end. Liv was the last elimination. I'm pretty sure both Rumble matches this year had the last person to be eliminated was someone that started. Incredible. Asuka returning with the Kana, I think it's pronounced Kana or Kana, I'm not totally sure. The Kana character, which is like a killer clown character that she used in Japan. I'm so excited to see where this is going. If Rhea chooses to fight Bianca, I would love to see Asuka challenge and defeat Charlotte Flair with her new character at WrestleMania and get a revenge win over the time when Charlotte defeated Asuka, which was 2018. Asuka was on fire then. She was undefeated, and Charlotte halted and killed all her momentum. So this is her revenge time. This is just the time for Asuka's vengeance. But anyway, yeah, Rhea Ripley lasting all the way, flipping out Liv Morgan with her legs while she was dangling, and her feet were barely over the floor. She was like about to get out, but she managed to survive and win. It was incredible. And also, she started the match not just at one, but she started with injured or hurt ribs, injured midsection from getting speared by Beth Phoenix, which happened earlier in the night when she attacked Edge, when Edge was fighting with the Judgment Day. So, good stuff. Rhea Ripley was booked strong as hell, like I want her to be. When I first became a big fan of Rhea Ripley, it was when she went from NXT UK to NXT and challenged Shayna Baszler for the Baszler was champion at the time, like one of the longest reigning champions ever, NXT Women's Champions. And she challenged Baszler. She defeated her in a War Games match. It was essentially a 2-on-4 War Games match. Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae still won despite their other two partners not making it into the match. She was just booked like a total badass. And then she defeated Shayna Baszler. And ever since then, I was like, ever since that War Games match, I was like, this woman is a badass. And I cannot wait to see what she does in the future. And she's been amazing ever since then. Unfortunately, they didn't book her so well in the beginning. I mean, they booked her well. She beat Asuka. She became Raw Women's Champion. But then she lost to Charlotte again and again. And I was like, how many times are you going to lose to Charlotte, right? And now she's in a position where she could either challenge Charlotte and avenge her losses or challenge Bianca. And it's going to be such a blast either way. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes next. WWE is so much fun these days. And yeah, I'm gonna be posting more videos. I'm gonna be doing character analyses. I'm gonna be doing just reactions, like after the event, giving my thoughts on pay-per-views like this one. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed my my overview and my thoughts, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.